One of the things that you touched on, John, as I was looking in the notes, was this note said, old masculinity glorifies suffering, pure masculinity values adaptation. And so
Mhm.
putting that in simpler terms, that's why so many people pick Jordan over LeBron, because
Mhm.
Jordan's from that time when everybody was stealing on everybody, right?
Mhm.
So they say that it
Mhm.
was
Right.
they say they were
Right.
tougher, right? Because you saw how Scotty rolled up out of that game with the big old,
Right.
this was his forehead, right? That knot he had on there, and he kept playing. When in today's game, they would have rushed Scotty to the hospital. He wouldn't have been able to continue playing, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Concussion
And so,
protocol and everything. Right.
exactly, dude's knot was as big as, I mean, it was almost like that off his forehead. I mean, let's be real. You shouldn't still keep playing
Right.
Right,
when you
right.
got a knot that big on your forehead.
We
Right.
should know better now, right?
Right.
Right, right. But that's valued, right? That's your level of toughness. Tough beyond the point of stupid, really. But that's valued to a certain degree. But again, like I said on the LeBron thing, if LeBron was playing during that time, he would have been throwing the same kind of bows, swinging the same kind of, giving the same kind of shots that everybody else was giving at that time with that body. So I think everybody, whether you were considered soft or not, everybody was given at that same level because that's how everybody played. Like you
Mhm.
said, even before Jordan, it got more physical. It's changed over
Mhm.
time. Before Jordan's got in there, it was even more physical, right? And
Mhm.
part of
Mhm.
that is because of the level of athleticism. Over time,
Right.
the average player is far more athletic than they were 30 years ago, 50 years ago,
Mhm.
60 years ago. The average player during Jordan's time was not as athletic as Jordan. That's part of the reason why he stood out. Everybody wasn't that athletic. There were some who were, but the average NBA player now is about almost as athletic as Jordan was. The average NBA player,
Right.
right?
Right.
And then you've got those extra special freaks of nature that stand out above them. And LeBron is
Mhm.
right up there at the top of that pile, because if you look at how long he's still doing it, and he had his head up at the rim the other day,
Yeah, he
right?
did.
In a game I saw watch. So, it's that part is incredible. But when we think about this notion of part of it, what we're dealing with is what's required. This level of toughness that's acceptable or required has
Mhm.
shifted.
Mhm.
Because to me, it's crazy to think that the only way for people to fully accept him is if he were to able to transport himself back in time and dominate back then. And then more of those people would be as accepting of him. I don't need that.
Well,
It's
I
real
think
interesting though.
that it's only because this is a time that is different for everybody. And I relate this to how we've talked before about our generation is that sandwich generation. Again, we're experiencing things that no one else is going to quite probably experience the way we have. So, taking care of our parents while trying to raise kids and take care of ourselves, seeing how basketball has come into play to where it is now. We've lived through all of that, being
Mhm.
able to hear it on the radio, but see it on TV, going to games, and now streaming. You see much more than what was seen before us. And who knows what that's going to look like after us. But we're kind of that first generation to truly experience those different viewpoints of things as well. And this is where, back to the masculinity conversation, I think that's where that evolution just has to take place. That
Mhm.
adaptability has to take place. Seeing men being more vulnerable is
Yeah.
what we are encouraging because we know that's healthy for men to be able to express that. But back in the day, that wasn't what was being taught. That wasn't
Stop
what was
crying.
being shown.
You better
Right.
stop
It was
crying. I'm gonna
stop
give you something
crying,
to cry
toughen
about.
up. Right. Exactly type deal. And that's how we viewed masculinity at that point. And if you crying, you were a crybaby. You were this, you
You
were that
soft. You
type deal.
soft.
You
You
soft.
soft.
Right. But nowadays, that's like, no, you need to be able to express how you feel. And you need to do that. And that's okay. And that's strength in being
In
able
some
to do
settings,
that. In some settings as
still not
well.
acceptable everywhere.